Hey guys, what's going on? So this is part 4 of our clipping mask portrait series, and this is the last one. So we're going to be wrapping it up here. Seeing some nice work that you guys have been turning in. Keep it up, and let me just show you the last little bit here. All right, so I am. Hold on, let me get myself out of the way here. Okay, so I've got my pattern on. It's masked. I've done a little bit of painting to sort of reveal more of critical areas like my eye, my ear, my mouth, stuff like that. Um, and now, last thing we're gonna do two things. We're gonna make this thing black and white, and then we're gonna put like a color wash over it. All right. So to make it black and white, we are going to go up to the layer and new adjustment layer, and then we're going to go to hue saturation. All right, and then we get this box that pops in here. All we need to do for this one is just take the center slider saturation and just crank it all the way down. All right, and that will make our whole image black and white. You can see that it's added a new layer over here, hue saturation. The really nice thing about adjustment layers is you can do whatever you want later on. If you want to come back in here, if you click on this PRO properties, it brings it back up, and the color is actually still in your image, even if you do other stuff in between. These options will always be here. So it's called non-destructive editing. It's basically like an edit that changes the look of your image, but it doesn't actually destroy or permanently change any of the actual information in your photo, the pixels, the colors, whatever. All right, so you can collapse that by clicking on the little PRO right here. Again, that'll get that out of your way. Okay, so it's black and white, great, easy. And last step is to add that color wash. Okay, so we're gonna add a new layer, just like in GIMP, little sheet of paper with the corner turned up. All right, there it is. And we're going to pick two colors. All right, so pick whatever color you like. I'm going to go with what I had from before, blue, and then this one down here, kind of a goldish color. Okay. My suggestion is that I would pick two colors kind of in the same area on the square. Okay. And maybe just change the hue, which is this sort of the rainbow slider here. Okay. If you have, say, for example, one color that's like really, really intense and then one color that's like almost gray, it's going to be hard to kind of balance it out and get the effect finalized the way you want it, probably. Okay. So pick from the square. Once you've chosen the overall color, kind of put the point in the square for the second color it's pretty close to where you picked it for the first color. And then you should end up with two colors that work pretty well. Okay, grab our gradient tool here, and then you just drag out your gradient, and you can change this later. So just try it, just throw it on there for now, and we'll experiment with it in a moment. All right, so now obviously we can't see anything. What we need to do is we need to change the blending mode. And I think I mentioned blending modes in one of the previous videos, but just to reiterate, they kind of change how a layer interacts with the layers below it. Okay, normal is just like it'll block it, but any of these other ones will sort of like blend this layer with the layers below in different ways. Okay, so there's a lot of different options here, but there's one specific one for this particular technique, which is we're trying to add that color wash over the whole image, and that is way down at the bottom. It's called color. All right, all it's going to do is going to take the color from this top layer, this layer that we're changing the blending mode on, and just use the color and apply it to the layers below. All right, so you see we made it black and white here, and then we've added that color wash with this layer here. All right, so a couple of things we can do now. I still have my gradient tool active, so I can just drag and try different gradients in different places and kind of see, well, what do I like the best? Do I like kind of the blue on my face and the gold on my body, or maybe going top down or bottom up or whatever. Okay, do some experimenting and click around and see what you think looks the best. You can make the transition slower or you can make it more quicker transition. Actually, I probably wouldn't do that short because that looks a little weird, but something along that line, those lines there. Okay. So anyways, you can play around with that. You can also adjust the intensity of the color with the opacity slider here. And I know we talked about opacity before, but I don't remember if I mentioned this. If you hover your mouse over the word opacity right there, you can click and drag left or right, and it adjusts it. It's kind of the easiest way to do it. Yeah, you could type numbers in here. The slider is actually pretty good too if you click the little drop down, but it's just kind of a quick way to instantly access that ability. All right, so adjust the opacity until you like the intensity of the color. If you're all the way up to 100 and you feel like it's not intense enough, well, you can just go back in and pick a more intense color. More intense colors would be move your point towards the top right corner. That's like the most intense version of whatever color you're on. All right. But again, remember to try to keep the two colors pretty close together on this square. All right. So now if I've done that, I'm going to have to redraw. Oh yeah, you can see it. Redraw my gradient. You can definitely see that it's more intense. All right. So, it's not a terrible idea to go too far with that if you're at 100%, and then you can, play with the opacity and, have a good range of options to pick from. All right. And that's it. So once you finish that, then you are done. So go ahead and save this thing and turn it in on the part 4 version of this assignment. And that's it. And then we'll move on in a couple of days. We'll start something new. All right. We'll see you soon, guys.